You know, we talk about the Monkey Moon tweet about him not feeling a little bit down about the whole experience of being a pro player again. Does that make sense? Oh, what a save, Monkey. Right, let's have a little look-see then. So BDS, unfortunately, losing in the quarterfinals once again. So they have had 2 events now in a row. The first one they lost to Quadrant in the quarterfinals. This one they lost to KCorp. So the 2 highest performing teams currently in Europe have beaten BDS. So does that mean BDS are no longer a top 2 team? Or does it just mean that they've had some tough runs? So we'll look quickly at the Swiss. Beat Solary, beat Tundra, beat Vitality. You know, beating 2 of the top 8 is a pretty good run, but definitely not the hardest bracket for them. And then when it comes down to this quarterfinal, unfortunately facing KCorp here. And when we look at the results, you can see it's a very close series still. First game going BDS, second game an OT that KC win, then KC win the next game, they take a timeout, then it's a 1-goal game, then it's a 1-goal game, then it's a 1-goal game. So, you know, this could have gone either way based off of those score lines. BDS just not quite closing out and getting enough goals, it seems like. So 1.3 goals a game they're averaging conceding, which is very good. They just need to be scoring more goals. So we need to understand where they're lacking goals as a team, and then also understand if there's any issues with their current performance outside of that. I would say the goal scoring is going to be the biggest factor. So let's look at the stats real quick. I assume these stats will look quite good. BDS have always had quite good stats. Extra's always been a little bit lower on boost, goes for more pads, uses a little less boost. Seiko, high average amount, very good. Monkey Moon normally has a high average amount. Yep, Monkey Moon, high average amount, reasonable ratio. So you can see here, BDS not relying on 100s at all. They're very comfortable picking up pads. KCorp, Vatira is the most 100 reliant, but with Itachi being a bit more of a pad fiend, that definitely helps them out. All around 55% grounded. So again, the stats are all looking pretty standardized across the board. Positioning wise, yeah, again, nothing standing out too much, just that Itachi is not often that back, Extra is not often that back. So similarity with an Extra and Itachi as their role, both staying close to the play. Very nice there from them. So yeah, literally nothing in these stats stands out as bad. This is the only thing that they're not creating many offensive situations as a team. So I'm just going to go straight to this second game. So the main thing we're looking for here is we know that the game plan is going to be pretty good from both teams, right? You know, they're very smart players, playing off of each other well, not overcommitting, you know, taking small little low boost touches, all that kind of stuff. It's the lack of ability to break down. And again, these guys are hard to... Both teams are really hard to break down, right? You can see how little space you get against them because they very rarely run out of boost. As a team, they're always looking to keep that pressure on. But it's that little spice factor that they need. Like right here, great little play, could have been a goal. And it's like, I look at that and I go, you know, I wouldn't expect many teams to score in this situation, but with BDS, that's the level we expect from them, right? Is that they can turn these things into goals. And I wonder how many times we'll see gameplay and we'll be like, oh, that could have been a goal, you know? And they just didn't quite execute it. Is that a little pre-jump from Extra? Lovely. Pre-jumping's definitely becoming a little bit more common. Really smart dropping it down there to Monkey Moon. That's a great bit of play from Extra. I think this is mostly on Extra right here. Good recovery, but fair play to Vatira. This is what we spoke about before. We spoke about this situation before, where if you've got a player who decides to go upfield, your second person has to take a little bit longer, right? So it's like that challenge has to be won because you got a player going upfield. So, like, if you want to get the benefits of Monkey Moon going upfield here, obviously he dived in for a challenge to try and get the boost. Then you need to chill out a bit, fake a few times, maybe go for a block, that kind of thing. Because that's where you start to get a bump in the midfield or whatever. Like, Exotic or Itachi could get bumped here, counter-attack happens. So this is where, like, the decision from Extra to dive in is fine if Monkey Moon just goes back right here. No, so Monkey Moon technically overcommitted, but the first person's rotation allows for that in most of these guys' plans. Vatira avoids the bump, and so it's just unfortunate that happens. And also, to be fair to Exotic, great little play from Exotic as well, right? So like the first person should be able to do what Monkey Moon did here. Admittedly, Monkey Moon makes an error, right? Like puts this forward, just spins out on the landing, so misses the bump, right? It's just a little bit of an error. And Exotic does really well there. It's amazing, right? So this is what we're talking about, like little tiny punishes that these teams are able to do, and that's literally just Exotic punishing Extra's decision to go there. And these happen like rarely in a series, because it takes 3 players who all have very good decision making to make like 1 in 20 decisions back to back to back, which is hard to happen very often. Really nice from Extra there. Again, we talk about BDS as a team. Like this is a goal scoring situation which they've missed out on, and this is where BDS seems to be lacking, is they found themselves in a few advantage positions. What did we talk about earlier about low boost passing plays? Now the team has to try and recover it, which I think they do pretty well here. But I think he wanted to get the boost, which is why he went for this. He was trying to get that mid boost and go for it. Yeah, I mean the intention was to get the boost here. This is fine because Seiko has taken out Vatira out of the play, right? And Exotic's in the corner. Itachi's alone. If Itachi gets that intercept though, they're screwed. So like, it works out because they trust their mechanics, but like, again, in general, you don't want to be doing too many of those. But yeah, like, I would say both teams look solid here, but they're both so skeptical of, so scared to overcommit because they're against a team that's got a very good structure. Which often happens, right? We saw it with Quadrant versus BDS when those two played in the quarterfinals in the first regional. Is both teams are so scared to take a risk, and so then they don't ever try and break teams down. So then that's where you start finding those tiny little details of how they can improve their execution, make things less risky. Oh dear. See, Monkey Moon's lost out a few challenges here in a row, right? What should Monkey Moon do right here? Should just let Extra go. And then because of that, Monkey Moon has now put Extra in a really bad position. If we go above here, Extra's coming in at this angle here. Really nice angle onto that play. Monkey Moon can rotate over to here and then either come forward, go back, can turn back in towards the play, like can go in all sorts of different directions from there. Whereas Extra is very limited over here. My overlay's over the line. You get the gist of it. It's like here, right? So yeah, like you can see the setup here by Monkey Moon coming in cuts Extra off into this really awkward position in the corner where now Extra's not very comfortable, right? Because then Extra can't follow it up. Then here, again, Extra wants to go for that ball. Monkey Moon goes for it when Extra probably should have gone for it. Extra can see Exotic, Monkey Moon can't. Because that's why they're conceding, is because they're lacking a bit of structure, which is normally their strength, right? Let's go to this 2-1. I mean, Exotic, it was a good play by... in all those goals, it was good play by KCorp, but the value of the play was given to them by the decision-making of BDS, right? No, right now, KCorp are playing off of BDS's decisions rather than doing anything that's outplaying any structured defense. Maybe Monkey gets nervous in OTs. Do you realize how many high-pressure overtimes Monkey Moon has played in? Like, I doubt nerves is the biggest factor. He's probably just not feeling so good at the moment with the way he's playing. I don't know if they've planned to get Monkey to go all the time, or whether they've planned for, I don't know. I feel like right now Extra's being put in some vulnerable positions. based on decision making going on around him. But then maybe that's their structure and he's misfollowing the structure. He should be playing a bit deeper and waiting for these things. But what we've seen with Itachi and Extra, they got very similar play styles, but Itachi's the one who goes, where Extra seems to be the one who gets cut off. Again. Like, it's fine that Monkey Moon goes there, right? Like, it's a good decision that Monkey Moon goes there, and Seiko pulling out is the right thing. But you can see how it would create a bit of hesitation. Yeah, Monkey Moon is just chucking himself at a lot of stuff, and it's not like, it's not got that same level of finer detail and control that we're used to seeing from him. Ooh dear. Seiko just needs to clear out here. Extra shouldn't be jumping at that. Like, both Seiko and Extra probably shouldn't be going for this, right? It definitely comes down to comms in these situations. I disagree. I disagree on it coming down to comms, because a lot of it is stuff that you can't communicate, right? Like, if we go back to this Monkey Moon jumping up, this is not comms, because that's just reactive, no comms gameplay right there. Maybe they can say stuff like "I go next" or "I'm back" or "where they are," but a lot of the problems aren't necessarily comms based; they're reactive, instinct based. Right? Like here, this is instinct from Seiko to go up. This instinct from Extra to go up. That's bad instincts from them. I feel like they need to trust the process a bit more and just look to grind teams down a bit more, especially teams like KCorp. And this is something to bear in mind with, you know, we talk about the Monkey Moon tweet about him not feeling great, and you know, a lot of the BDS guys struggling post worlds and all that kind of stuff. And we're talking about the way they're playing right now is not comfortable, right? That's the main thing I'm noticing, is it doesn't look comfortable. And that's probably reflective of how they're feeling, right? They don't feel comfortable. Whereas KCorp, they feel very comfortable, right? And so what does that sort of mean when it comes to the gameplay? Now, obviously, the base gameplay's there. They can perform at a base level pretty solidly. But then, as things go wrong, it starts to affect further performance, right? You get cut off once, you're then going to start feeling hesitant a lot more reactively. Whereas KCorp, because they're feeling good, they're happy, they're enjoying themselves, they're much more likely to dismiss one-off errors and move on from them than a team that's not feeling so comfortable, a team that's not feeling as good as a team, or you know, isn't as focused, whatever it is. So when we're watching this gameplay, the main thing I'm thinking is BDS not being comfortable is coming through in their gameplay. Fair play here. Good from Monkey Moon. You know, like, again, I'm not, like, it's a good play. I'm not trying to dismiss this play and everything, but like, it's kind of all in, and like, Vatira messed up the save, but it just doesn't look like typical BDS, right? It feels like they've tried to force a goal in a little brief moment. Like, Monkey Moon just come zooming in and tried to force a goal. Like, Vatira could have saved that potentially, and like, it's led to a goal. It doesn't look comfortable, right? They don't look like they're comfortable. Vatira's boost management is always very good, yeah. So what we got here? Tachi. Nice stuff. Very good stuff. So what's really good here is the way Itachi grabs this boost. If you look, let's break this down slowly. As you see, at this point, he was turning infield to try and like cover the center of the pitch. The moment the ball goes towards the right, commits to that. But the good thing about it is it doesn't use too much boost to commit to that, which then meant he had enough boost to stay after the play, right? So right here, only started boosting once he reacted to the kickoff. Really good first touch. Perfect boost management. Great little kickoff goal. So fair play from Itachi there on the kickoff. There's not a huge amount I think BDS could have done. I think Extra's a little bit of a poor read from him. I always feel like you've either got to commit fully to these so that you get the bump / the ball. So if we look again, if we look from above, so you can see clearly that boost grabbing motion in the top right corner of Extra. So another reason why I personally prefer the tighter turn towards the middle is the angle it creates for you in defense, right? Because you can get further across and behind the ball, and that creates a much nicer angle to defend from. If you go out really wide like this with a full boosting, obviously you get an advantage in this space, but as we saw from Itachi, you can still get that advantage by reacting late. Like he started boosting once he was done with turning, right? So in this situation now, Extra's coming across at this angle, so he has to intercept the ball, which is going to be coming in a straight line in this direction. He now has to be able to both calculate the height and the speed of a ball and intercept it at a perfect point here, which obviously he fails to do, so he starts trying to hover and read it back this way. Whereas if you get in line with it and you start like coming from this angle, you can intercept at this kind of angle, which has a lot more maneuverability whilst you're in the air to be able to intercept it. Does that make sense? So Extra's read wasn't great, but like if he chooses a slightly better angle off that kickoff grab, he would be able to get behind that ball and up to it a little bit better, I believe. Yeah, he's forced to sort of like perfect read it, and obviously Itachi changes the trajectory of the ball midway through, so it's near impossible to perfect read that. So he's given a tough old time there. Right, we'll just watch this last game here. But you can see that BDS are almost there. They've almost got enough to make it past this game, but it's just the small little margins, tiny little margins that's the difference maker. Whew. Oh, what a save, Monkey. Jeez. Blimey. That is outrageous. Yeah, this is what I mean, is they're not playing badly, they're just not quite playing scary BDS level, right? Like, they're a solid team. They've had a few tough draws with this draw in particular against KCorp. Like, they're playing solid Rocket League. They probably just don't feel good in their decals. That's probably all it is. I like the look of the BDS decals. I just don't like playing in them personally. I feel heavy when I play in them. Look, like there, right? It's the tiny little margins, right? That could have put them into Game 7. A better read here puts them into Game 7. You know, you see all these tiny little margins. Tiny little margins. What's happened here? Poor 50 from Monkey. That's a very poor 50 from Monkey. I think Vatira being ready makes a lot of sense. Like, this is why rotating out opposite side is so valuable, right? Like, he was going for the mid boost there. He's not sitting upfield with 0 boost, he's rotating out. Like here, he's gone, I'll get that mid boost. Oh wait, the mid boost isn't there. Let me go across to that other mid boost. He was looking to go across that other mid-boost to boost off Seiko. And it's a neutral position where he can go back and go forward. This is what we talk about the neutral positions. We mentioned it earlier on about the difference between Monkey Moon and Extra going, right? At the point of impact on the ball, look at where Vatira can go. This is what we talk about. Rocket League's chaotic. It can go anywhere. It can go forward, go to that mid boost, can go back via pads, can probably go back to this back boost if that's what's needed, can turn into the middle of the field here, can turn into the middle of the field here. Because he's got momentum, he can get to all these locations super fast, right? Even if the ball was popping all the way across into the opposition half, maybe he can go and boost still here and come back in. You know, there's loads of options. Drawing a spider. I mean, that's what it is. It's a branch of loads of different legs of the way you can go. So Vatira's movement here, you know, he's made a play in this corner, followed through, tried to get this boost, it's not there. Gone through the middle of the pitch, there was potential for a bump, didn't end up happening. And then now he's here, right? And like, he's picked up a few pads. He'll save those pads if he's not able to get the 100, which he does. And then he can use the low boost, right? So that's what we talk about neutral positioning. Like sitting in a position where you can neutrally go anywhere. It's good movement mechanics to get there. And the fact that he keeps ball cam on is good. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I think the summary is BDS a slight off the pace of their usual ability. Both of them look fantastic. They look like they have a great game plan. I say fantastic. Their game plan is fantastic. They just lack the execution. This is what I said about KCorp in the final as well. I feel like they've got another gear of individual ability that they can reach if they're having a really good day. But like, this is both of them playing at a reasonable level and just lacking that extra step up that will get them tournament wins. KCorp showed it, BDS didn't. And I think KCorp can even go up another level. BDS can go up a few levels still. And it's reflective in their feeling towards the game. They've shown it on social media. They're not particularly enjoying the game. They're not enjoying the grind, all that kind of stuff. Feeling a little bit down about the whole experience of being a pro player again. So hopefully, if they get a bit of motivation, get back to that major, which I believe they're the team that's got the best bet. They have strong game plans, in my opinion, just lacking that final little bit of mechanical flair to create goals.